beautiful people, in this video we're going to be talking about simplifying expressions. This is going to be a very brief video, only 3 examples in this video. However, we're going to be talking a lot about simplifying expressions. If you haven't already watched the video on like terms, make sure you watch that video before watching this one, as I'm going to be just jumping right in without explaining much, but we will be talking about how to simplify these specific expressions. As always, disclaimer time, I am a human, so if I make a mistake, just let me know where the mistake occurs, so that way we both can learn from my mistakes. All right, beautiful people, let's go ahead and jump in. What do I have here? I have x's. How many? 2. What's the sign? During my class, you know that mathematicians are what? Lazy. So that way, if there's nothing there, it is a plus. So what do I have? I have 2 x's. 1, 2. What's the sign? They are positive. They are plus. Let's try again. I have x's. How many of them? 3. 1, 2, 3. What's the sign? They are positive. Next I have 5. There is no letter, so that means I just have 5 pluses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next I have 2. I don't have a letter, so that means I just have 2 pluses. 1, 2. Once you have written things out this way, you can start to combine like terms in order to simplify this expression. All right, so what do we have? I have 1, 2 positives, 1, 2, 3 positive x's. So remember, in order to have a zero pair, you need a positive and a negative of that same thing. So I only have positive of x's, so I'm going to combine these like terms because they have the same letter. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's that are positive. Next up here, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pluses and 2 pluses. I don't have any minuses. I don't have any negatives. So I'm going to combine these like terms. And I'm going to say I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 1 pluses. So how do you write your final answer? Your final answer when it's asking you to simplify the expression is going to look like this. Whatever you have at the end combined, you're going to just put them together. So I have 5 x's and I have 7 pluses. And that is your final answer. You have simplified the expression. Do another example, example number 2. Try again. We have, what do we have? I have A's. How many? 5. What's the sign? Minus. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A's. They are all minuses. Next up, I have 3. 3 what? 3 minuses. I don't have a letter, so I just have 1, 2, 3 minuses. Next up, I have an A. I have A with a plus. So whenever you have a letter like this with no number in front of it, there's a secret 1 here because you have A. Oh, this is going to be a math joke. You have A and. Get it? A. You get an A? It's okay. I'm laughing on the inside. Okay, so you have 1A. So I'm going to say I have 1A. That's A positive. You see how that didn't change? You have 1A and you have 1A anyways. And the third one is, or fourth one, I can learn how to count. I have 2's, 2 what? 2 pluses, 1, 2. Now this one, I do see some zero pairs, so I'm doing a little happy dance here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus A's. I have 1 positive A. Remember, you guys, 1 positive, 1 negative of the same thing equals 1 zero pair. So you get to cross it out. I don't have any more positive A's. I do have leftover negative A's. So whatever's left over, you're going to combine those. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 A's. What's the sign? Minus. All right, let's move on to whatever we have next. What do we have next? We have 3 minuses and I have 2 pluses. Again, because these two terms do not have a letter, they are the same, okay? No letter means they are the same. If they do have a letter, there has to be the same exact letter and the exponent. So if there is no exponent, that means the exponent is 1. And so A and A squared cannot be combined. We'll deal with that in example number 3. Anyways, I have a negative, I have a positive, 0 pair goes away. I have a negative, I have a positive, 0 pair goes away. I ran out of positives, however, I have 1 negative left over, 1 negative left over. So how do we write our final answer? Our final answer is just combining these things. So I have minus 4a and I have a minus 1, and that is our final answer. Do our last and final example for this brief video. This was going to be a little longer, but that's okay. All right, what do I have? I have x's. How many do I have? 7. What's my sign? There is no sign. That means what? Everyone, that means it's a plus. Okay, so that means I have 7 x's, and they are pluses. Okay, what's my next term? Next term is I have a y squared. How many y squares do I have? 10 of them. What's my sign? They're all positive. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to try to squeeze them in. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And all of them are positive. Okay, what's my next one? I have an x squared. X squared, how many? 8. What's my sign? Positive. So 1 positive x squared, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to recount that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, what's my next one? I have an x squared. X squared, how many? 2 of them. What's my sign? Plus. So I have an x and an x, 2 x's that are positive. Next, I have an x. How many? 3. What's my sign? Minus. So I have 1, 2, 3. Next up, I have a y squared. Y squared. You try to keep the colors the same. How many? Just 1, because I only have a plus in front. I don't have a number. So I just have 1 y squared. Next thing you have is an n. I have an n. I haven't seen an n here. So I have an n what? N squared. How many? 9 of them. What's my sign? Plus. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what's my sign? They are all pluses. Okay, what's next? I have a y. Trying to color code this for you guys, and it looks like I might run out of colors. So y, how many? 8. And I have a plus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they are all pluses. Okay, and the last one is an n squared. How many? 5. What's my sign? Minus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, when the numbers get much larger, it's going to be a lot more difficult to draw these out. So start noticing the patterns. How do we combine them? Start noticing the patterns. All right, so let's go ahead and combine them. I have 7 x's. Do I have any other x's here? Oh, I do have x's. Notice that I accidentally didn't color code them the way. That's okay. Color doesn't matter, right? So we have just x's here. We have x's here. So I am going to say I have x's here. I have x's here. And I have x's here. I have 7 positive x's. I have 2 positive x's. And I have 3 minus x's. So if I have a positive and a negative of the same thing, that equals 0 pairs. So 1 positive, 1 negative, that's a 0 pair, that goes away. 1 positive, 1 negative, that's a 0 pair, that goes away. I only have 1 negative left over. However, remember all of these positive x's. So I have 1 negative, 1 positive x, that all goes away. So what am I left over with? I'm left over with 6 x's that are positive. Next up, what do I have? I have y squares. Do I have any y squares? Oh, I do have a y square. Do you see this? Y squared, that's a positive, and I have all of these y squares. You guys, I noticed that my color coding was completely wrong and off, but that's okay. There's so many terms in this example that you guys are just going to have to forgive me for the colors. All right, so I have y squares that are positive and I have a y squared that are positive. Because I don't have any negatives of y squares, that means I don't have any zero pairs, and I'm just going to combine them. I'm just going to count them. So I know in this section I have 10 y squares, and here I have one more y squared. So when I combine those, I know I'm going to have 11 y squares that are positive. Again, 10 y squares and one more y squared. That means I have 11 y squares. Okay, next up I have is x's that are squared. So I have 8x squared. Do I have any more x squares? I don't have any more x squares. So guess what? That's done. If I don't have anything to combine with, then you can't combine. So I have 8x's squared that are positive. That was easy. Okay, so next up I have, that's done, that's done, that's done. I have 9 n squares. Do I have any more n squares? I do. Here you go. And I'm doing a happy dance because I have 0 pairs. I have negative n squares. So 1 negative n squared and 1 positive n squared, they are the same thing. 1 negative, 1 positive, that's a 0 pair. 1 positive, 1 negative, 0 pair. 1 negative, 1 positive, 0 pair. 1 negative, 1 positive, 0 pair. 1 positive, 1 negative, 0 pair. You get to cross them out. What are we left over with? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 what n squares that are positive. Okay, so that's done, that's done. The only thing that I'm left with is just a y. I don't have any other y's, so super duper easy. That's it, we're done. I have 8 y's that are positive. And that's it, you guys. We have simplified this expression. I would like for you guys to start noticing the patterns, how we came up with this, so that way when we have bigger numbers like 40, 63, 108, you don't have to draw all of these letters out. However, for smaller numbers, they are definitely helpful. All right, beautiful people, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.